There's something to be said of all games that push a genre forward, but what about those that define a genre? For SRPGs, we've seen a few notable entries over the years, such as Shining Force, Disgaea, and Fire Emblem. But if you ask most RPG fans what their favorite SRPG is, I found that the most common answer to that question is overwhelmingly Final Fantasy Tactics. The combination of a deep story, the in-depth drop system, and highly tactical combat make this one game fans of the genre have got to experience. This episode, we're going to stick with diving into the main character, so without further ado, I'm Terra Squirrel, and this is Who the Heck is Ramza Beoulve? Ramza Beoulve is one of three sons to Bobanus Beoulve, a renowned knight of great skill, and an unnamed commoner mother of lower class. Even though he was born out of wedlock, he is seen as a true Beoulve and fights hard to protect his family's name and honor. Ramza is enrolled as a military cadet in the Magic City of Gariland, and that position has put him at odds with the Corpse Brigade, a sect of peasant soldiers who were abandoned at the end of the 50 Years' War. Ramza's character goes through several changes throughout the game based on how he sees the war in the world and how he's affected by the many events throughout, such as seeing how his house treats people and the reasoning behind the Corpse Brigade doing what they do. Ramza can equip many types of weapons depending on what job he's currently using, with the exception of axes. Axes are a no-go. Starting equipment is broadsword, clothing, leather cap, and battle boots. Like all characters, he starts off with a basic attack and also a special moveset menu titled Guts. Starting out, the only ability that's there is Wish, so there's not much variety. I'll get into the Guts ability shortly. He deals fairly average damage in the beginning, so not much to write home about. One of the great things though about Ramza is his ability to equip most knight gear. He also gets great bonuses to HP, speed, and attack as a squire, so that ends up usually being the best job for him if you're not looking for a particular challenge. As I mentioned earlier, the only ability Ramza starts off with is Wish. Wish is a simple ability, taking a bit of life from the user and giving double of that to the target. Simple yet effective. The other abilities that show up under the Guts menu are Yell, which raises the target's speed by 1 and costs 200 job points to obtain, Cheer Up, which raises Brave by 5 and also costs 200 job points to obtain, Scream, which raises Brave, Speed, Magic, and Physical attacks and costs 500 job points to obtain, and finally Ultima, which has to be used on Ramza for him to obtain it. And we all know, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, we do know that Ultima is the ultimate spell. It is super powerful and super awesome. He can also use the abilities of the job that he's currently assigned, which opens him up to an amount of abilities that I just don't have the time to dive into. Maybe I'll make a video someday specifically on Final Fantasy Tactics abilities. Who knows? Ramza's lucky in that he starts the game with not only the male character bonuses of HP and physical attack, but also the female bonuses of MP and magic attack. After all, he's the main character. He should be more special than your average male character. He also starts off with a bravery stat of 70, the stat of chickening out when it gets too low enough levels, and the faith stat of 70, the stat of which a value above 90 on other characters will make them leave your army. Faith also determines how strong of a caster a character can be, and since Ramza can't leave his own army, he can raise it to 100 and be a really good caster. Baseline, he's got a move of 4, a jump of 3, and a speed of 10. Some fun facts. Ramza shows his mug in a whopping 15 other Final Fantasy games and pieces of media. Ramza is a Capricorn. In War of the Lions, Ramza is voiced by Phil LaMarr of Mad TV fame. Ramza wears 3 distinct suits of armor or outfits during the game, each with its own sprite set and portrait art. Well, that's it for my overview of Ramza Beoulve. I'm definitely going to revisit this one as I get deeper into the game and learn more for myself. I'm really intrigued by the character and his interactions with the rest of his people. As always, leave me some comments and let me know what you thought, or hell, even if I got something wrong. Let's strike up some conversation. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like or subscribe and catch the next one. One of these days, I'll actually know ahead of time what character I'm going to do, and this will be the spot that I may or may not announce it. Thanks for watching. Bye.